All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Thank you for listening. I'm Gage Samoji. He's Emerson Hip, and this is the Intoxicated Sports Report.
This is.
Emerson, today's Ash Wednesday. Did you know that?
Did not, but thank you for bringing that to my attention.
So what are you giving up for Lent?
Absolutely nothing.
What would you give up for Lent?
Cereal.
Do you eat cereal?
No. So does that not count?
No. I think Lent is something that
You abuse?
something that you do a lot of, and you give it up for Lent.
Okay.
You know me being really religious, knowing what all this is.
What would I give up for Lent? Let's give up bread.
For 40 days.
Sure, why not? That's easy.
You've done it before.
Probably. Something like that.
But you've done like keto, so you've done this before. You've
Yeah.
done that before.
Yeah.
I think for me, the most realistic thing I would give up for Lent, it'd probably be booze. I could go 40 large at that.
If we're talking about something that I definitely do at least 5 or 6 days a week, yes, booze would be at the top of the list.
Because like bread, like carbs would be tough. No sugar would be tough. Or candy I could probably do, but sugar in general. I think booze would be the one that I would do.
Booze is tough. Yeah.
It'd be tough because we do this show,
Mm-hmm.
which involves booze heavily. But for those of you who are celebrating Ash Wednesday,
Good for you.
Should I congratulate?
No.
No? Is that another thing?
No.
I'm actually asking.
Just a choice.
You
It's a
choose to
choice,
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pat you on the back for that one.
Some people, when people have the ash on, like the cross, the ash cross on their forehead,
Got it.
I can tell you really care what I'm saying right now. So we can move on now.
Happy Wednesday, though, regardless.
Do you know what happened 60 years ago today?
60 years ago today, that would have been 1962, March 2nd, May 2nd.
I heard it on the radio, so I had to mention it because I think it's pretty cool.
Sports related?
Yes.
Was somebody born?
No.
Okay.
Well, somebody was born, but this is not what I'm referring to. No.
I'm trying to think what could happen on March 2nd, 1962. Can you give me a hint?
I was gonna say, do I want to give you a hint? It involves.
What sport?
I'll give you basketball.
Basketball. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna give you.
Was Wilt Chamberlain involved?
Yes, it was.
100.9?
It was.
I think I saw something about that.
Yeah. 100 points. I don't think anybody is gonna touch that.
No. I mean, the fact that Kobe got 81
And that was what, 15-ish
15-ish years ago? Yeah. That is unreal. That's probably, and obviously we weren't alive in 1962, but probably more impressive than what Wilt did.
What's more impressive? Wilt scoring 100 points in one game, or Wilt claiming to have slept with 20,000 women in his life?
20,000, that's pretty high number.
I did the math.
Surprised he doesn't have AIDS.
You know
Or
me.
didn't have AIDS.
You know me, the math whiz.
Yeah.
He died at age 63.
Okay.
365 times 63 is almost 23,000 days, or 23,000. So you're telling me this guy slept
Was going over one a day? Is that what you're talking about?
He claimed to go like 2.5, if you're counting,
Like
pretty much
during his prime.
pretty much 2 women a day.
Nice.
That's
That's grimy, but good for you, man.
how? That's incredible.
Yeah, I kind of don't believe him, but
It's
it
hard
could
to
be embellished a little bit.
Do you guys think this guy lost his virginity when he was what? I'll give him 15.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it could be 13.
Could be, but it's somewhere in the teens.
Right.
And so he went to work.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you could.
He went to work.
I don't know how you could level that good of a sex life with a professional basketball career, but he did.
Maybe that's
or
why he was
apparently
so
he
good.
did.
He was just really level-headed.
Yeah. So shout out to Wilt on this Ash Wednesday.
Yeah. Also, didn't he average like 50 points in a season, like for a whole season? Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Wilt things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a whole
He's
different level
He was built
of the
different.
game. What are we drinking?
Or
Or what?
a little cucumber cocktail.
What were we drinking?
Yeah. I think I made this for us a couple weeks ago, something like that. Little Gin, Aperol, cucumber, lime juice.
You don't have a name for it, or there's probably got to be a name for it, right?
The Emerson Special.
You didn't create this, did you?
Sort of.
Okay.
It took a little research to come up with this idea, but
Right, no, well,
I decided that it worked.
cool. And now, I'm drinking a White Claw.
Nice. I will be moving on to gin and Red Bull here in a minute.
Ooh, natural lime White Claw.
Dude, that's the worst flavor of all flavors of any seltzer.
No, it's not.
It's pretty fucking bad.
I don't complain with the Celsius, you know. They all kind of just taste the same.
It definitely doesn't taste like a vodka soda with lime. I'll tell you that much.
No.
It's far from that.
But what if instead of the soda you put in a vodka soda, you put this?
Nope, can't do that.
Can't?
Nope. I just hate that lime, that fake
The
lime flavor.
artificial.
Yeah,
It's like the stuff that you get,
it's hard to do.
that you squeeze into it.
Oh yeah, that's
That looks like a lime.
Yeah,
Like the
that
thing it
fake
comes
lime
in.
juice. Yeah, not legit.
How was your weekend? I know how your weekend was because I was with you.
Yes,
For-
we had a great time at the Sharks game. I think. I mean, I did.
I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I think we all had a good time.
I think so too.
Even Ashley, who was slightly hungover, I think had a good time.
I hope she did.
And she didn't drink. I mean, she drove. Well, she drove the four of us, me, you, Devin, and her.
Mhm.
And then Candace and Austin drove themselves.
Right.
But shout out to Ashley for driving us.
Right.
Really appreciate it. Driving,
Yeah.
us, driving to San Jose and back.
That's
It's
a
never
track.
never fun,
Definitely
especially
a track.
11 or 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But she did it, and we thank her for that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a
Thank you
great
for
time.
tagging along too.
It was nice to go to a Sharks game. It's been
2 years, almost exactly.
almost
Like,
exactly 2 years. 'Cause
2 years and a couple months.
We went to the game in February of 2020 or January.
January. I
Late
looked it up
January.
recently. It was January 11th, 2020.
So we just missed the cutoff.
Right.
There was no masks, no nothing. Like there was
Uh-huh.
nobody was worried about anything at this time.
Right.
And then a month or 2 months,
2 months later, shit hit the
everything was
fan.
different.
Yep.
So it was nice to get back in the tank.
Yep.
Had some good beers. Had some mediocre fries.
Mm-hmm. Love those floppy fries.
Most importantly, the Sharks won.
Got the dub. We're rapping
We're
today
repping,
too.
we're repping. Have to, had to. The coolest part for me about this game was we got to see the new franchise for the NHL, the
Yes.
Seattle Kraken.
We did get to see the crackheads.
You might have to ditch that name. That's just
I didn't come up with it. So.
not you didn't. Just like how you didn't come up with that cocktail.
Right. I adopted it.
They have good jerseys.
They do have
The,
good
the
uniforms.
colors are good. Cause you talk mad shit about them.
I'm
Or about
still,
the name.
Name is still iffy, but I'm accepting it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Uniforms, they did well. I will give them that. And logo was cool.
I love though seeing people wear Seattle Kraken jerseys. There's nothing on the back because
Oh, yeah.
they don't have a
They don't have a star yet.
a star yet,
Yeah.
but they will soon.
Yep.
We also went to a very cool New Orleans themed bar,
Yeah, that place was dope.
which I thought was fitting because it was Mardi Gras yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was like because it's always the end of February.
I didn't think of that at the time, but it was kind of cool that we went to that place.
Yeah,
There
had
was
live music going
live
on.
music going on. Accidentally got a porter beer.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah.
I would have rather gotten the IPA.
I saw Devin drinking. I'm like, okay, I see you.
Well, so I asked her what she wanted. She's like, I want the pizza port. I'm like, that sounds kind of fun and good. Not thinking it was gonna be a porter.
Right.
And he started pouring, and I almost would have been like,
Yeah.
I want to stop him. But I was like, the deed's done. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
I don't want to be that guy to like get beer half pour. But like, actually, can I get the IPA?
Yeah.
So it was a good time. It was nice to be
Out and about.
out and about,
Right.
drinking.
I'm with you.
We're getting back to that point.
Good
you know.
times. Good times for
Really
sure.
good time, and hopefully we get back to the tank sooner rather than later.
I'm just happy that I've extended my streak to 8 now. You know.
Yes, Emerson
Unbelievable.
has been to 8 Sharks games in his life. He's
Never seen him lose.
never lost.
Never lost.
He's like LeVar Ball.
I think that's one of the more impressive things I've been a part of in my life. I think it's just odd. Like
You pick and choose well what games you go to.
Yes. I mean, I've even seen the Sharks play the Blackhawks when they were like in their championship
Oh, wow.
prime, and the Penguins the year after the Penguins beat the Sharks in the Stanley Cup.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Penguins went on to win the Stanley Cup again that next year.
And you went to a playoff game.
And I went to the
Where-
playoff game where
which
they played,
playoff games are
played
hard to win.
Nashville. Yep.
It's impressive. You've been to some heavy hitters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Good. And I've been to 3 games with you, and they've obviously won those. I've been to
Right.
1 game where they didn't win, but
right.
for the most part, on my side, I've also been to games that the Sharks have won. So it's
Right.
nice.
So yeah, that was fun.
Also, didn't have to get COVID tested, which was nice.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that
I walked up and they're like, "Do you have both your shots?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, you don't need to get your." Because I'm not boosted. I thought people were gonna, or I thought San Jose had this thing where you had to be boosted to get in.
I mean, they did say that on the website, so I thought that was interesting.
And all you guys are boosted.
Right.
So I went there and they're like, "Well, if you have your first two, we're not worried about it right now." And
I did get another email today that they changed the entry protocols again, so maybe that's what it was about. And it was like,
probably.
fuck it, whatever. We're a couple days earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right. What do we got going on today, sir?
We have some unfortunate MLB news, some NBA news, a little bit of soccer, and a little bit, college basketball.
I know, shocking for us. As much as we love the sport.
It's our favorite. It's the best.
All right, let's start with the shit news. I can't lie.
I was gonna ask you, are you down and out right now?
I'm frustrated, disappointed, not happy, all of the above.
You're not the only one that feels this way.
Yeah, it's just not cool, not a good situation. But yeah, the owners and players have still not come to an agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement. And on Monday, maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember. The commissioner, Rob Manfred, announced the cancellation of the first 2 series of the season, so essentially cutting out 6 games of the season.
Yeah.
And that's just the start of it, because they essentially put a deadline on the 28th as a deadline to get an agreement done. Didn't get there, and said that they would indeed cancel the game. So it's just the start of what could be really ugly.
Are you a Manfred fan, or what do you think he's been as a commissioner? I didn't realize he's been a commissioner. I think since 2005.
No, he's been in baseball for a long time, but he hasn't been a commissioner for only for like 5 years, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's been that long. I have to double check that, but because Bud Selig was
he was there for a while.
Most of our
he was like the Pope.
Right.
You couldn't get rid of him. You know what I mean?
Let's double check his tenure here. Has been the commissioner since January 25th, 2015. So 7 years now.
Okay.
You know, I don't.
He's just the face of the owner, so he's gonna look like the bad guy.
Exactly. I'll try to keep this short, but here's my position on this whole thing: is commissioners are easy to point the finger at, and Rob Manfred might seem like a dweeb, which most commissioners are. I think Adam Silver is probably the only one that is not hated,
but he's a dweeb.
But he's also a dweeb, and I think even he is not necessarily on everybody's side. Which, when you're the face of the owners, of course, that's going to be the case. So there's that side of things. I think also, from the, in fairness to the players, and I don't even really know what is fair. Of course, you have to value the players because they're the product.
They are the
product. They make the game happen.
They're the reason why the people go and see the game.
So you do have to value them. There's no question about that. And also, I don't know. I think you have to consider the fact, though, too, that this is the owner's money that we're dealing with. Like, they could just say, hey, fuck you guys, we'll find some other guys to play and pay them a fraction of what they're getting paid right now.
Yeah.
So you have to consider the fact that these players are pretty damn privileged to get paid. Some of them are getting paid $100 million or more over a certain span of time to play the game. So I know there's revenue involved, and that's why these arguments start. But I don't know. To me, like, you could take me off the street, I'd play for half of what I make doing my current job, and I'd play Major League Baseball. So there's that side of it as well.
I think one of the things I heard on the radio today, which I never really thought of, is so we think of the guys who make what's the league minimum.
So the league minimum right now, I think, is $570,000.
Which to us and anybody listening,
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But you got to think, for a lot of guys who aren't these big name players like Mike Trout or not Ben Harper, that's an artist. Bryce Harper. Thank you. A lot of these players only have careers that are 4 or 5 years long, if they're lucky.
Yeah.
And that kind of money does accumulate to over millions of dollars, but that money does eventually run out when they have to find other jobs that aren't paying $500,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've never ever thought about that, because I'm one of these people that thinks about, oh, you're making $500,000, why are you complaining?
Yeah.
But these careers sometimes aren't that long because it's such a hard sport to play.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, yeah, they're making crazy money. But I think for the players, it's more about the little guys, the guys who aren't making that kind of money, because to them, their money really means something to them because of how short the careers can be.
Right. I think a good thing to preach is, if you are one of those players who hasn't gotten a second contract, don't act like you've made it yet, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think that's the way that, and not everybody's that smart.
Yeah.
But I think if you are smart, don't act like you've made it until you've actually got that contract that can set you up for life. But, you know who I feel worse for, and this is a different conversation because this is not related to Major League Baseball, but the minor league players that are being told that you got a chance to make it. Just keep working hard, but not everybody is.
Exactly.
And those guys are making like between $30,000 and $70,000 a year, which is just kind of chump change. That's playing in the minor leagues and riding buses all around.
Yeah,
you know, getting pulled around, you know, and told lies pretty much. So, but it's all shitty right now, and yeah, the players, I'm sure they have their case, but I don't know. I just think that you got to consider the fact that it's two parties that are trying to come together, and the owners are going to have their reasons why they don't want to give in. So,
and you and me, more you, but we both love baseball no matter what. So we're going to take any kind of games that we can, we'll take any kind of games we can get when it comes to watching.
Yeah.
And I think we'll still probably get 100-game season.
I would think so. I think optimistically right now we're looking at May 1st as a start date, but that's optimistic.
Yeah.
I think you could very well see it go into the middle of May or even June if we're lucky.
We had the 60-game season a couple years ago, and obviously we didn't like how that one turned out because the Dodgers became the champions.
That was a shitty
if we're talking like that.
Right.
But I still took that. It sucked, but different circumstances because of COVID.
It was kind of cool to see something different too. A little sprint to the playoffs kind of thing. I mean, and the biggest hurdles at this point seem to be the competitive balance tax threshold, which is essentially Major League Baseball's version of the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about $18 million apart on that, which, given how high these numbers are, that doesn't sound like a lot, but $18 million, that's a very good player. So that's not nothing. The other one is what I believe is a new addition to what would, they've never had this in any collective bargaining agreement, is the pre-arbitration bonus pool, which is essentially if you are a player playing in your first 3 years of your career, they're trying to create this bonus pool for the guys who finish as the best players each year, to give them more money, because those guys are making a league minimum until they reach that fourth year of service time. So
when I first read on here pre-arb, I'm like, we're talking about arb right now? What the fuck are you talking about? But now it makes more sense. Thank you for that.
Abbreviations.
We're gonna be getting baseball.
Yes, I will put it on
wax.
On wax. We're gonna get baseball this year. It's just gonna be a shorter season. We're gonna have to live with that. Might see some doubleheaders, which I don't love doubleheaders because I think that's just cramming shit in for no reason. But we're gonna get some baseball.
I would like to go to a doubleheader.
Yeah, if they were gonna do those ones that me and Nico went to,
Yeah.
which was unprecedented in today's day.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine they would do because there's too much money lost in that.
Yeah.
But a day-night, single-paid doubleheader.
That would be a long day.
Long day.
But a fun day.
And when we went, it was 2 9-inning games. It wasn't 2 7-inning games.
And you stayed in the stadium the whole time?
Yeah, so you had one ticket. It got you in for both games. They had like I want to say maybe a 1 hour in between games, if that.
And I was gonna ask. So after the 7th inning, you can't buy beers anymore for the first game.
You know what? I think they changed the rule for that.
Really?
I think
so.
they
You
did.
could have beers.
I'm pretty darn sure. Yeah.
Which makes kind of sense because they probably assume everyone's gonna stay anyways.
Right. Yeah. That was a lot of fun going to that.
And then we went to a doubleheader pretty much. That 18 inning.
Right.
As long as the season doesn't get canceled,
that would be
terrible.
The worst thing. And I think baseball is already struggling for interest. That would kill it. That would really put a dagger in it. Yeah.
For us, it wouldn't, because I'd still watch next year, but it'd still be like, fuck, baseball.
I know.
Especially after what the Giants did last year.
I know. Like I think I think the fans of the teams that like fans of the Braves, Dodgers, Yankees, Giants,
Yeah.
Red Sox.
Like you don't think Braves fans want baseball this year?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
I think it's gonna hurt the worst for them. But I as bad as it looks right now, I'd still be shocked if we didn't have some semblance of a season. But it's ugly right now. It's not good for baseball.
It's a downer. It sucks, but we're gonna get baseball.
We're gonna get baseball.
We're gonna get baseball.
And honestly, we were very close to getting an agreement. There was just a few things that were on the table that did not get hashed out. So hopefully, I think everyone is just praying that we just get them back to the table ASAP so we can get this shit figured out and not lose too many games.
Onto a sport that is thriving right now, the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to see John Morant a couple nights ago?
Boy, is the talk of the town right now.
Your boy, John Morant.
Yes.
I always say John Morant is your boy because he's over here dunking on 7-footers, and my boy Zion's eating donuts on the couch.
He is special, man. He is something to behold. He is he's kind of a little bit of Westbrook, Derrick Rose.
I heard a Derrick Rose comparison today, which I thought was good.
But he in an era where shooting from the outside is so
He doesn't really do that.
coveted, he's not really that kind of guy.
He reminds me of Kawhi Leonard in the sense that he plays his own game.
Yep.
He doesn't try to do anything else. He doesn't have to.
And he's damn good at it.
And I think he'll eventually try to develop that long shot because that just kind of is how the NBA is.
Right.
Even Kawhi Leonard shoots more threes than he probably did 10 years ago.
Right.
Or 80 years ago.
He does shoot the three here and there, but he's not like an uber efficient shooter. But if he does get that part of his game going, ooh, look out.
And the Grizzlies, man, they're not scared of anybody.
No, I love it.
They're just
coming
in here. They're saying
as a Warrior fan, I'm scared.
yeah, so you can play them in the playoffs.
Right.
They're just saying, "Fuck you! I don't care what your resume is. We want to play you, and we have a chance to beat you."
Right.
I'm not claiming the Grizzlies saying we. I'm acting like I am the Grizzlies saying we.
Yeah.
I actually would love to claim the Grizzlies. Mike Bibby played on the Grizzlies.
He did.
So
they're a lot of fun to watch right now. They got a really good young squad. I mean, Steven Adams is pretty much the only old guy I can name on the team.
he dropped 52,
A couple days ago.
which is the
Is that the franchise record?
franchise record, and I believe that was he became the last player for a franchise to score over 50 in a game.
Oh, wow. That's kind of funny.
I don't think the Grizzlies were the last franchise to not have a 50-point score.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know who number 2 was on that, or who was like 49 or whatever, 48.
I mean, I would throw out maybe Pau Gasol as a candidate for that.
Maybe Zebo. No, he probably didn't score that
Yeah,
much.
I can't see Zebo. I'm thinking Pau Gasol is the best bet, but
Marc Gasol.
well, Pau played.
Or Pau did too. You're right.
Early his career.
Maybe Rudy Gay. Maybe.
Rudy, yeah.
Yeah,
Could've been up there. Yeah.
So shout out to John Morant because he's
looking nice.
good.
Yep.
He's good, man.
Kevin Durant expected to return tomorrow. I think that's
Big news.
exciting.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on Ben Simmons too to make that the full squad that they want. But I think the Nets have been reeling lately. I don't know if you saw they won only 3 out of their last 18 games.
And I still want to say that the Nets are one of the favorites to still win the championship this year.
I think if they get it going, they will absolutely be in that conversation.
Especially if New York or Brooklyn.
Right, because they are talking about New York, the state of New York dropping the vaccine mandate for indoor events or whatever.
Which means Kyrie Irving could play
You're right.
every game.
Yeah.
Which is what they need.
Right.
He's not a top 75 player, but he probably should have been in there. He's good. He's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
You're missing a Hall of Fame player half your games. You need him.
100%
And
agree.
then Kevin Durant, obviously, is Kevin Durant. I just want to see what Ben Simmons is like.
I
I want to see all them together.
Right. I'm
sure a lot of
to
people
see
do.
what that's going to look like. I think this NBA season has makings for something that we've never seen before. A lot of teams that have a chance, I think. Which, with that being said, we got some new segments that we're going to start with the NBA next week. We're going to kind of break down some playoff contending teams, and we're also going to have, this is a optional weekly championship contender power rankings. We're going to set them, you and I are both going to set our own power rankings next
Is this
week.
going to be kind of like the college football playoff power rankings that we
A
did
little
with
bit.
football?
The difference is here that your list can be as long or short as you want. So if you only think there's one team that can win the championship, your list can be one team.
Okay.
And you have the right to change your list and add or subtract teams.
Gotcha.
each week. So we'll be doing that all the way. I think we'll keep it going through the playoffs as well. So I think that'll be fun. And like I said, there's so many teams I feel like that are in the mix and a lot of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. Excited to see who you got on your list.
I'm excited to see too. I've not been watching a lot of basketball, I'll be honest.
This is going to force us to get into basketball because I'm with you. I mean, I've watched the Warriors as much as I can, but I can't pretend. Like
it was a football heavy fucking season for me, man.
It was, and it was. I mean, I've said it so many times. It was such a great year of football, and I don't even think even if the Niners sucked, I think that would have been a great football season to watch.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt that the Niners were in the mix.
So we're gonna try our best to get in the NBA, especially now. I think it's a good time post All-Star break.
We got about 6 weeks, I think, left of the season. So
I feel like the NBA playoffs usually land around on my birthday.
Yeah, just about. I think the season last day of the season was April 10th or something like that. So right there, yeah.
It's always around that time.
Yeah.
Same with the Masters. The Masters is always near my birthday.
Yep.
Something about those April days. I don't know. PJ likes it.
Mm-hmm.
On to soccer news. I got one thing I wanted to mention actually, which I thought was pretty cool. U.S. Soccer and Turner Sports reach a rights deal. Do you see this?
Okay. So what's the parameters of this deal?
It's so it's gonna be Turner Sports and HBO Max. It's gonna be an 8-year deal that brings the men's team and the women's team games to TNT, TBS, and HBO Max beginning in 2023.
Sweet.
And I like this because from what I've heard, I don't watch a ton of, the women's national team or the men's national team, but it's hard to find games.
Yeah, I mean, hard
to watch games. You have to jump through too many hoops to get to these games.
Like you'll see the big games maybe on Fox Sports here and there, but I think a lot of the shit lands on Peacock and stuff like that, and all those streaming networks. So I'm with you.
Good for Turner Sports for doing this. I think it's nice for obviously the game. For soccer when it comes to national teams.
Yeah. I will say, because you said HBO Max is part of that deal?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I am not a fan at all of sports going to these streaming networks because it's just, like you said, too many hoops to get through.
It's a little bit of a hoop.
Like the fact that last year when Peacock joined Major League Baseball as a network, I mean, if you don't have Peacock, you couldn't watch there was 6 Giants games I think that were on Peacocks only,
or even
the Facebook shit,
or even YouTube TV
and YouTube TV.
I remember the Giants were on. I'm like, I can't fucking find this game. I was like, it's on YouTube,
right?
I could watch it for free, which is nice. I didn't have to pay anything to watch it. It's on YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Might be a trial thing, but I remember
I
didn't pay for anything. I was able to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, there were just too many instances where I could watch the Giants play this day game on a Wednesday before I go to work. Oh, I can't get it because I don't have it on the streaming network.
I see what you mean with that.
Or if you come home from work, after your 9 to 5, and you can't watch a Giants game because it's on the streaming network. I think that's bad marketing.
But you can make the same argument that what you're doing right now is you're essentially paying for watching the games regularly because Xfinity could be HBO Max. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. But then it's just adding too many layers.
No, it is. It forces you to pay money to only watch 2 games a year for something that you don't really want in the first place.
Exactly.
At least with Xfinity, you get to watch every other sporting event you want that's on major television. So.
Yeah. But it's that's the thing is I pay fucking $200 a month for Xfinity, and then you're gonna make me pay another $10 a month just to get these extra couple games here and there.
Yeah.
That's just I think that's kind of BS.
But also, if you get HBO Max, you can watch Euphoria, and I recommend it.
So, more soccer. We're down to 2 teams, and I set this up so that we would have the down to 2 teams for this episode.
Yes.
For our adopted club, and those teams are Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid.
We're gonna get Madrid.
I can feel it too.
We're gonna get
the momentum is there.
Yes. And for me, sorry to cut you off, but Real Madrid to me just. Are they like the Yankees? Is it bad? Is it bad? Is it going to be bad?
Actually, I think they're, this is similar, but they're more Red Sox. I think Barcelona is more Yankees, if you will.
Okay, gotcha.
But regardless, big
name.
both these teams are
PSG,
big money.
I've heard, what's nice for me is I've heard of both of these teams.
Right.
So I'm not
I put every team in here has at least got a name to it. So, I thought that our audience would support the English teams, but that didn't happen. So
It's also nice. I don't know if you got I wanted to ask you this for a final count of the votes that we got.
in total,
up to this point.
yeah. I mean,
Which I'm sure you could.
the very first day we had about 20 to 22 per,
Makes sense.
and then it's been around 14, 15 since then.
But we thank you for everybody for voting.
I'm glad that there's been at least
awesome.
some interest in this.
We hope people appreciate us.
Looking out for their interests.
Looking out for the interests, and we
Yeah.
appreciate you for giving right back.
Right. So PSG versus Real Madrid, that will be posted. I mean, when you listen to this, it'll be the same day, but I'll probably do it tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
And we'll figure out who's going to be our team.
And one thing I wanted to mention is neither of us have voted on any of these.
I've
I did
stayed
not.
out of it completely.
I wanted to check to see if you did, because if you did, I was gonna vote. But
Oh, yeah.
since you didn't, I was like, I'm not gonna
No.
do it. So I don't know anything about any of these, so I'll let the fans pick.
Yeah. Also, Champions League round of 16 resumes next Tuesday, and I believe PSG and Real Madrid are actually facing off in this round.
Of
And I
course.
think PSG has a 1-0 lead after the first leg. This is the second leg will be starting on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Cool.
So we should look forward to that, given whoever they pick for
whoever
us.
I get, yeah.
Also, the MLS kicked off on Saturday. Quakes lost their opener to the New York Red Bulls, but I feel like MLS just kind of came up just like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't even prepared for it. But
Dev made a good point, because we always talk about, or me and you always talk about wanting to go to a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made the point, and I forgot that the games are on Saturdays. It's gonna be like virtually impossible for us to ever get to
They're
a game.
usually Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. They even occasionally mix in a Wednesday or Tuesday, but those are night games, so it'd be kind of tough.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So might not get to a Quakes game.
if we can find some kind of way to go, I'd be totally down. They're cheap. It's a cool stadium.
As long as we sit next to the Rooter section.
Gotta sit in the Rooter.
Gotta sit in the
either
Rooter
next to or in the Rooter section.
Or-
Because the Rooter section, I think, is the general admission tickets, which are
Yeah.
the cheapest. So you might as well
Which-
just do it.
It's the best.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you have to deal with being behind the guys that are singing the whole
I don't
game,
care
but
about
that'll be
that.
fun. Yeah.
It might not be the best view, because I don't know if it's the way. I don't know if being behind the goal is the best view or being.
That's kind of where we were, anyways, and I thought it was a good view.
No, but I still know what technically.
I'm sure sitting midfield would be ideal, but
I would.
Regardless,
We
we had a lot of fun.
once we've
Yeah.
mentioned it many times.
dude,
on
I
this podcast.
realized just recently that was 6 years ago,
But
2016.
the 2016.
Yeah, because I had a photo of it. It said 2016 March.
Fuck. How long ago? You telling me I was like 21 when we met?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ! Where did the time
That was a
go?
good time, though.
That was a great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
All right. College basketball.
I got some news first.
Sure. Hit
So
it.
over, I think the weekend, this last weekend, the top 6 teams in college basketball all lost.
Yeah, I saw that it was like 7 out of the top 10 teams all lost, but I didn't realize it was all 6 of the top teams.
Gonzaga lost, Arizona lost, Auburn lost, Purdue lost, Kansas lost, Kentucky lost.
That's crazy. And I think both Gonzaga and Arizona still stayed at 1 and 2 after all of that.
Probably.
If I'm not mistaken.
But shout out to St. Mary's. It's cool. I listened to Murph and Mac or it was Murph and Mac, and they were talking to the St. Mary's head coach.
Okay.
And they were like, good luck this weekend. It's gonna be a tough opponent. I'm thinking to myself, Gonzaga's probably gonna roll. And I saw the score. I'm like, good for St. Mary's. You know what I
Hang
mean?
on there? Or they haven't played the game yet.
No, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
Oh, they beat them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see. Nice.
So they were talking to the head
Yeah.
coach prior. It was like this time
Yeah.
last week. And the guy
Yeah.
was like, we're gonna try our best. I love our guys. And he's saying all the right things.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's probably like, I don't know.
Right.
And they ended up beating them.
Yeah,
So
that's
shout
pretty
out. That's Gonzaga's hard to beat unless you play them in the tournament.
Right. Yeah, Gonzaga doesn't seem to have that same squad they had last year where they were just so dominant.
I think it was on CBS Sports on their Instagram account. Gonzaga has a 38% chance, according to, I think, them maybe, or I don't know if it's Caesars, it's something like that. Something they posted.
Yeah.
38% chance for Gonzaga to win the tournament. And the second highest was 8%.
Oh, wow.
So
So they're heavy favorites.
heavy favorites, at least for CBS Sports standards. But
I'd
that's
like
not-
to see what the
It's a lot.
what the Vegas odds are. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because I think they were undefeated going into that game last year, the championship.
Yeah, they made it all the way through the season.
and they got
undefeated.
smoked.
Yeah,
Against Baylor.
absolutely ruled.
So pretty brutal.
Yeah. Coach K coaching his final home game for Duke on Saturday.
This came up quick. I read this
Against
and I was
North
like, fuck.
I know. I mean, it's we don't pay attention to college basketball, so kind of feel. I'm with you though. It did come up like it was nothing.
Coach K's got to dye his hair, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That shit's dark as hell, and he's like 75-ish.
That dude's gray underneath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to his barber.
Right.
Or maybe his wife.
Yeah, right.
He's using that just for men.
Right. But yeah, well, I mean, obviously, hell of a career for that guy.
No, he's a
Legend.
He's
One of the best coaches of all time.
probably under John Wooden.
Yep.
Second best of all time.
Certainly throw his name in that conversation. And Duke is number 4 in the country right now, so have another one of those great years.
People don't like Duke, but if they did it for Coach K this year,
I would totally root for
be
Duke.
fucking
I have nothing
awesome.
against Duke. I'm like,
How
of course they're like the rich white kids of college basketball, whatever.
You know, they're like the J.J. Redicks and the Christian Leighton.
Leitners, yeah. Everyone just thinks of Christian Leitner, which I get it. If you're a basketball fan, college basketball fan, that is, I get it. But I don't give a fuck.
Christian Leitner went to 4 Final Fours.
That's crazy. And they won twice, the national.
I think they won
championship.
twice, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would totally root for him.
I think Coach K has 5 championships.
That sounds about right.
4 or 5. That last one, the last one was the Okafor one, maybe when they played Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a long time ago.
I forgot they played Wisconsin.
That
That was after Wisconsin beat
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Who was
that
undefeated.
yes,
Yeah.
in the Final Four. Yeah, good call.
Frank Kaminsky, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Frank the Tank.
I remember, I've mentioned this probably too, that Danny and I were on our way back from Santa Barbara visiting our.
Yeah.
And we were watching. He's a Duke guy because he's met Coach K.
He's a guy, right.
And I was rooting for Wisconsin because I like Kaminsky, I like the big white boys. And we were watching it in his car. He had like one of those things you could like put in your, AC vent.
Right.
And we were watching it, and Duke beat him.
Yeah.
But it was. I think it was. From what I remember, it was a pretty close game. I don't think it was a
blowout. I don't think it was a blowout either. I saw that Duke this year won their first regular season ACC title since like 2010.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and granted, the ACC has been a very, very good conference in basketball for a long time, and they are having a down year overall. Duke's actually the only ranked team. They're number 4 this year. But I thought that was kind of interesting. We will also be doing a March Madness pool. We will be. I think we're gonna do it just for bragging rights.
It's the only way to do it. This
yeah.
is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
What's worse than bragging rights?
Right. So, no entry fee, no nothing, no prize, just.
Probably do it through. So I already have an ESPN account. It'll probably be easier to do it.
Yeah,
that
we're
way.
gonna do it through ESPN. So if you have an ESPN account, or if you don't, create one, and if you want to join.
And we'll promote it as well.
Yeah, I'll keep doing promotions for it each episode until it gets to that point. I think the tournament starts. Let's see. Today is Wednesday. I think it starts 2 weeks from tomorrow, but I could be wrong. I think it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. But regardless, yeah, join.
Remember when you would skip class to watch March Madness games in high school?
Don't tell my mom that. I do remember that. Yeah, that was fun. Good times. That was back in the day when they didn't broadcast every game.
Mm-hmm.
It would be on CBS, I think, only, and they would rotate through the games. It was kind of fun actually that way.
So it was like Red Zone.
A little bit, yes, it was. Yeah, so you pretty much catch the end of every game, but you wouldn't necessarily see, except for like if it was like a number 1 seed, like if Duke was playing somebody or whatever, or a big school was playing somebody, they would play the whole game. But for the most part, you would just get snippets of each game, which was kind of fun.
I didn't know they did, because they didn't have it like on TBS and like
True TV. They hadn't expanded to multiple networks until.
So it's like it goes through all Turner Sports.
Right. Yeah.
Is CBS Turner Sports?
Mm-hmm. They're associated. Yeah, I think they've only been doing that for like 6, 7, 8 years. But back when we were in high school, they weren't doing that yet.
All right, that's by far the most college basketball that we've talked about.
With the exception of maybe the Nico episode.
Well, Nico I don't count because he's. Well, I mean, I counted, but he.
As far as just you and I.
Well, just
Absolutely.
you and I.
Absolutely. Sure. Okay. So I wanted to expand on how we want listeners to give us topics to debate, talk about in depth, whatever you want to call it. And you were the one who kind of brought this up
I'm surprised that you like the idea so much.
I love it. I mean, I think in totality, we want this as much as fun as we have doing it for ourselves. We want it, if we don't have listeners, you know, it's kind of the same thing with Major League Baseball is bullshit right now. You have players.
You know, like we might still do this if we didn't have a ton of listeners, and we don't.
We don't. I'm not gonna pretend that we don't.
No, we don't. We don't have a ton at all.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Emerson, I'm like, I just think people who listen deserve to have a say in what we do, and I think, especially in a time of sports right now where it's kind of, you know,
right, yeah,
like
for sure. Like
not a lot going on
between football season and football season. it's a little slim pickings.
I just want people to, you know, I want them to, for us to talk about what they want to say.
And feel involved to some degree.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not making sense here.
Right. No.
These White Claws are hitting.
And I think.
Because you're important. You're very important to us. The listeners are very important to us.
Absolutely. And we want to be able to grab your interest in any way we can.
Yeah. And you know, that being said, you might give us something that we have no idea how to talk about it, but we'll give it our best shot.
Yeah, you know I would say,
whether it be serious or me being sarcastic as fuck, how I can be.
And I would say, you know, you give us, and by the way to contact us about this, direct message us, you know.
Yeah, or
say, hey, talk about this.
Instagram, you know, we have Twitter, but no one ever.
Yeah.
Twitter. You can even text message us.
Yeah, if you want to text us, if you know us well.
Yeah, most people who listen to us probably have our numbers. So text us and do this, and maybe if you do that, we might not talk about it that next episode, but maybe we could accumulate a couple things to talk about in an episode.
Exactly.
Kind of like Q&A, but way more in depth.
Exactly. Like, and your topic could be a question, I guess, in theory, but give us a full topic that we can kind of dive in on, and I guess we'll probably prioritize them by relevance at the time and something unique as well. Like we don't want to repeat ourselves too much on the show, but
we just want I just want people to feel like that they're involved and that they matter.
Right.
Because you really do matter to me, and I know they matter to you.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we wouldn't be doing this if we had 0 listeners.
Yeah, if we were pushing 0 every week, I'd be like,
yeah, we might as well just drink.
We might as well just drink and do this while we're watching a game.
Right. So yes, absolutely. Please, and I'll probably post something in regards to this as well.
Yeah, or we could put it on our Instagram, like one of those little, you can click on it. Like highlights. Mm-hmm. Is that on Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I sound like a boomer right now. What are those called?
Right. Yeah, we'll put a highlight up for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanna involve you guys as well. So that's that.
That is that.
What time is it?
Look at us. It's early too. Last call.
I also hope you guys watching enjoy the new ornaments on the desk here.
I thank Emerson for putting the Jimmy Garoppolo one that I actually gave him on his side.
Yep. I still haven't wrapped his knee yet. Might need to put one on his shoulder now too, since he's getting surgery.
Yeah. And I got old Pablo Sandoval getting a ground ball at third.
Yeah, he's
third baseline.
He's picking one right there.
Third baseline. Looking tubby.
Mm-hmm.
Love him though.
They didn't make him quite fat enough, I don't think. That's not 2012 Pablo.
That's a World Series MVP you're talking about.
That is.
You got anything? I got a few things, kind of.
Your boy Kyle Larson won this week.
Wow. Wow.
That was actually kind of a fun race.
Thank you.
I mean, we actually didn't watch a ton of it, but the highlights were interesting. There was a lot of wreckage.
I'm surprised you mentioned Kyle Larson, because we're not mentioning NASCAR as much.
Not every week, but
I finally got in the positive points column in our NASCAR standings that we'll get to whenever we do.
Mm-hmm. He did get into Chase Elliott at one point, his teammate, which I thought was fascinating.
Garrett let me know about that one too. Did you see Troy Aikman?
Oh, he might be leaving for
Fox for ESPN.
Yeah,
and he's probably getting paid a good amount of money, which I
would imagine so.
But I feel he needs somebody he needs to bring Joe Buck with him.
Ooh,
I don't think
would
Fox.
Joe Buck leave Fox? That would be major.
But could he leave Fox NFL but still do Fox World Series or like MLB?
Joe Buck could do whatever the hell he wants because he could probably be an independent contractor.
And it'd still work.
Because I think Kenny Albert works for
A few.
Kenny Albert did work for NBC, but now works for TNT, which is associated with CBS. But I think he also worked for Fox as well. So it's not impossible. But ESPN generally likes to have exclusive. Yeah, I don't know. That would be wild.
I just like who are you gonna pair Troy Aikman with? Because he's not the
color guy.
He's not the main commentator.
Yeah, he's not a play-by-play. He's a color guy.
Play-by-play. Thank you.
So, I mean, you're gonna put him with Steve Levy? I don't think that's a great combo.
I think what ESPN should do is bring somebody who's not in their like kind of Steve Levy's a ESPN OG. You know what I mean?
Right.
If he could get Joe Buck
Steve
there,
Levy's fine, but he's not special.
because I think what ESPN needs desperately is a good 1-2 combo for Monday Night Football. 'Cause it's been years. It's been since John Madden, probably, or actually no, Gruden and Mike Tirico were really good.
Those were good.
They were really good.
But you know what? I'm gonna just say an unpopular opinion, but Monday Night Football should go.
They're never gonna get rid of that.
They're never gonna get rid of it, but it's not good. It's a terrible product half the time. It's not all the time.
If it's Monday night or Sunday night blows them out of the water. Every week.
And
And they have the better commentators. I mean, Al Michaels
Right.
is the GOAT,
right.
or in my opinion, when it comes to
Since they let Mike Tirico leave, they've gone down.
ESPN.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just think Monday Night Football kind of sucks. It's a pre-scheduled schedule. You know, it's from the start of the season, so your matchups will be very hit and miss.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a great product.
But they've been doing it for longer than Sunday Night Football.
I get why they do it. You want to spread out
And they're not the worst of the night or like the game night crew, because Thursday night's the worst. Thursday Night Football is worse than Monday Night Football, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think I like Thursday night better just because I don't know.
I just don't. Okay, so I don't like Thursday night because I think the games are shit that get on there. Like I like.
They were a lot better this year. I feel like than in previous years.
I like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman together because that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like if you just give me that on Monday, I'm cool. I think it could work.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Monday Night Football is failing right now.
Because commentators matter. Like it matters what it sounds like. Because you're listening to it. You hear other things too, but you listen to what the guys are saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk shit about Joe Buck, but people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a Cowboys fan. You're gonna like him anyways." No, I think Joe Buck is great at what he does.
Yeah.
He says some stupid ass shit, but a lot of these
I think
guys
he's kind of dull, but I think overall Fox does a better job of broadcasting football games than ESPN does.
Okay.
I think just overall. I would also say that something about Monday Night Football being the last game of the week it becomes kind of a snooze fest for me. Unless the Niners are playing, I don't give a shit. I really.
But you'll still watch though.
I still watch it, but my interest level is not there. I don't know.
I see what you mean because Thursday you're like the week is starting.
Right. I think that's what's big about Thursday Night Football for me.
Because I used to not really.
I used to not like Thursday Night Football.
I'll watch every game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll watch every game. Don't get me wrong.
I think the NFL should just say, fuck college football. We're playing Saturdays too every week of the season.
What's college football going to do? They can.
They got nothing.
They got nothing. They got nothing.
I think they should play Fridays too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all week.
Play every game in the week. I'm watching every fucking game.
You know what was better than Monday Night Football? COVID season 2020 when we had Tuesday and Wednesday games.
I would love to get off work and be like, man, it's been a long day, but at least I can watch fucking football tonight.
Yeah.
I agree. They'll never do that, but I want Monday through Sunday through Monday, whatever you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I need it.
And I almost feel like the NFL should have discretion to move games from Sunday to Saturday any week that they want based on the quality of the matchup. That would just boost the ratings so much.
They wouldn't do that because the NCAA is kind of their ally.
Yes, I get that.
But I know what you mean. The NFL just big dick swinging. Right? They just can do what they want.
They should.
They own a day of the week. You think God owns Sundays? No, it's the NFL. Sorry.
Yep, the Shield.
Hate
The Shield's got it.
Hate to break it to you on Ash Wednesday, but the NFL owns Sundays. You didn't see this, but remember Dunlap, one of the teachers in Napa High?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to the Napa High Athletic Hall of Fame. Napa High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I had to mention it because I had Dunlap 11th grade PE. And yes, I was one of those guys that had PE as an upperclassman.
Sure.
You know, I can't help it. Just it is how it is. We shot hoops every day. We never ran laps. It was awesome. I liked Dunlap. I would kick his ass in horse almost every time.
Nice.
It was great. Duke can stroke though.
Yeah.
He can stroke well in multiple ways, as I've heard. But basketball
Chill,
for one.
chill,
Basketball is what I'm talking about. And people have their opinions about that guy, but I like him. He's cool.
I've served him plenty of times at the Marriott and Applebee's
There
when
you
I was
go.
working at Applebee's.
So shout out to Dunlap.
He probably doesn't know who the fuck I am, but he did. He was a co-coach with Mott for my weight training class.
Also, his first name is Jerry. I did not know that.
I did know that. Yeah.
So that's news to me. I thought he was just a one name, kind of like Prince, Seal type of guy.
That's it.
I mean, what else? What else do you
Like
do?
Jairus.
What else do you know?
All right, man.
I got more.
Do you? Wow,
Yes.
you're a ball of information today.
Did you see the New York Liberty got fined $500?
I did. I saw some pushback on this, but I didn't really read into it.
For chartering flights.
Chartering.
Thank you. I knew that sounded wrong coming out. Chartering? No. Chartering. Wow. Flights away or to away games during the second half of the WNBA season, including an unsanctioned team trip to Napa. Shout out to Napa.
On them up.
I mean, they probably getting. What do you think they were doing there? Getting wine?
Yes.
Maybe.
Having a girls' day.
Also, New York Liberty. Next time you come to Napa,
Hit us up.
hit us up.
We'll hoop with you.
We'll hoop. Yeah, you'll kick our asses.
I'll post you up, girls.
Hey,
Someone swap me.
hey, we'll take you to the best spots in town.
Yeah.
I'm talking Frida's. I'm talking
Dumpy's.
I'm talking Green Door.
Green Door, yes.
I'm talking Trinket Steakhouse.
Oof, the best of the best.
The best of the best, only for you ladies.
Mhm.
Next time you're here, let us know. We'll talk to WNBA. It'll be all good.
Nice.
I thought it was funny. So I first saw the news and I was like, oh, I want to talk about it. And then Ashley sent us the one that said Napa, California. I'm like,
Right.
what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
You know, Team ISR. Over
Look at
here.
us.
We're Team New York Liberty. We just officially adopted the New York Liberty.
We're adopting a lot of things these days. Should we adopt like a rugby team too? Or a cricket team?
If you want.
No, I don't. I don't want. All right, send us off. Is this 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I think it is 2 weeks.
Go.
I'm drinking. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Hope you had a good time listening because we certainly had a good time talking.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.